Hong Kong conhece este domingo o próximo chefe do Executivo. Na corrida estão 3 candidatos, mas não se esperam surpresas. Carrie Lam deverá ser confirmada com a maioria dos votos do comité eleitoral. A região viveu um período conturbado no mandato de CY Leung e uma nova geração nasceu para a política. Mas a eleição de um novo chefe do Executivo parece estar longe de ser o remédio para a divisão política que se vive. Olhamos o panorama político de Hong Kong numa reportagem especial da jornalista Sandra Lobo Pimentel.
CY Leung termina agora um mandato que começou em controvérsia e certamente acaba com um saldo difícil para o ainda chefe do Executivo de Hong Kong. Agora, o comitê eleitoral terá de escolher entre 3 candidatos, mas em Hong Kong acredita-se que o próximo líder do governo há muito que já está escolhido. Os tempos conturbados não se sabe se pertencem ao passado, mas por enquanto é calmo o ambiente em vésperas de se saber quem será o próximo líder do governo. Diz-se que os corredores do poder já escolheram quem vai assumir as rédeas dos destinos da região nos próximos anos. A bandeira da República Popular da China virá sempre em primeiro e entre os 3 candidatos a vantagem vai naturalmente para a candidata apoiada por Pequim. Carrie Lam, de 59 anos, foi secretária para a administração nos últimos 5 anos e número 2 no atribulado mandato de CY Leung. Arrecadou 580 dos 1.194 votos do comitê eleitoral para a sua nomeação. Há quem diga que teria ultrapassado facilmente os 50%, mas isso deixaria o debate e a aparente concorrência ainda mais votados ao fracasso. Os outros candidatos, John Chang foi o titular da pasta das finanças nos últimos 10 anos. Conseguiu a maioria dos votos do campo pró-democrata para a nomeação. O mesmo aconteceu com o antigo juiz Wu Kwok-ing, o mais velho na corrida, já com 71 anos. Apesar do apoio de Pequim estar depositado em Carrie Lam, a verdade é que nenhum dos 3 candidatos a chefe do Executivo pode considerar-se como pró-democrata. Descontente está a nova geração que despertou para a política nos últimos anos e que vê com maus olhos que a escolha recaia sobre Carrie Lam.
Mrs. Lam, she is very tough and she is, some say she's an autocrat, but I wouldn't say so. I think she's more determined to fight for things that she believes is right, but on the other hand, she is less willing to accept others' opinions because she considers herself to be the only person who is right all the time. So I think it will be harder for us to persuade her or to negotiate with her in working hard to accomplish anything. It is harder compared with John Zhang, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible because compared with CY Leung, she is not exactly the same.
So it will be some rough years coming?
Well, I hope not, but it's possible. It's possible. More rough years to come.
No matter who is selected by the President of China, is still an anti-democracy result.
Encontramos Joshua Wong junto ao gabinete de ligação do governo central em Hong Kong. O jovem ativista saltou para a ribalta do palco político, em especial após o movimento Occupy Central em 2014. Fundou um partido, o Demosisto, mas ficou fora da corrida eleitoral ao Conselho Legislativo por ter apenas 19 anos à data da eleição. O partido conseguiu eleger um deputado, mas este faz parte do grupo que enfrenta a destituição do cargo na Justiça, devido à controvérsia gerada pelo juramento. Wong tem enfrentado vários obstáculos devido às suas posições, mas promete não deixar cair a luta por eleições livres e faz promessas a Pequim.
I'm not optimistic and Carrie Lam is just a nightmare for Hong Kong residents. What we hope is continue to fight for democracy, and during the 20th anniversary of Hong Kong handover, it's time for people around the world and under the rule of China to care more about democracy under one country, two system in Hong Kong and Macau. And this 1st of July will be the first time for Xi Jinping visit Hong Kong as the position as President of China. So it's the time for Hong Kong people to organize civil disobedience and to against the interference of China towards Hong Kong's autonomy.
É por isso um futuro conturbado aquele que o jovem ativista prevê para os tempos que se seguem esta eleição.
I foresee to have civil disobedience during the visit of President Xi Jinping to Hong Kong.
So it will be some sensitive times on the next months.
It's a symbolic moment for us to organize the strike and to let President Xi to realize that people in Hong Kong deserve democracy.
Há unanimidade em Hong Kong de que a sociedade se encontra profundamente dividida. O mandato de CY Leung foi pródigo em episódios que marcaram profundas diferenças, não só entre partidos e visões políticas, mas também um certo conflito de gerações. E é esse o cenário que o próximo chefe do Executivo terá de enfrentar.
The current political environment in Hong Kong during this forthcoming chief executive election is that Hong Kong is socially, politically deeply divided. So the challenge for the next chief executive is to repair the damage done to many sectors of the society.
There is a huge divide between the younger generations in Hong Kong. Two generations so far have felt that they have been left out of the progress, the fruits of Hong Kong, and they can't progress. Salaries are not moving any faster. They feel they have no say in their future, and that's why this came forward, the independence movement. And then when they saw things like the bookseller issue, they feel that Hong Kong is slowly becoming mainlandized, that they don't have a say in their future. And that's why they feel they need to do something. That's why you're seeing the political divide in Hong Kong.
Unfortunately, the community in Hong Kong is very divided. Whoever the chief executive is, and hopefully it's Carrie Lam, I feel that she will have a very difficult job trying to get harmony back amongst the people.
Estivemos no 22º aniversário do Partido Democrático, onde marcaram presença muitas figuras da classe política da região. O partido também viveu as consequências de um período conturbado. Os históricos deram lugar aos mais novos que apontam o dedo à interferência do governo central e, em particular, à escolha que dizem já feita para ocupar a cadeira de chefe do Executivo.
Of course, we have new members being elected into Legislative Council, but on the other hand, we see that the central government is tightening all the control over Hong Kong, and which is quite disappointing for many young people because although they are being elected, but they can't really change a lot.
Up to this moment, we can see a lot of interventions coming from the Central Liaison Bureau's office in Hong Kong, and because of that, and we are expecting the result maybe is already writing in the board already that one of the candidates has already been backed and supported by the Central Liaison Bureaus in Hong Kong, and it seems that she will be being elected.
A vitória de Carrie Lam é praticamente certa, até porque Pequim não quer arriscar e por isso as regras do jogo, diz Eric Sotedé, são demasiado restritas.
And it's not even a whole football field, it's half a football field. There is just one goal and we are playing with one ball and we know already who is going to score. So it's just like, it's very, very restrictive. We give the impression that there is, of course, some kind of debate and this will be the maximum. So he will be the maximum in terms of independence, but you will never have more. So I think this is because if you let, of course, anybody who can be elected, and given the fact that actually it's a majority of the votes, for the legislators that goes to the pandems for the geographical constituencies, of course, at the moment there is it's just impossible for Beijing to take the risk of having a chief executive that would be non-aligned on Beijing's direct wishes.
No entanto, com o grau de popularidade de John Tsang apoiado pelos democratas e nas sondagens pela maioria da população, hoje muitos perguntam se não foi um erro a rejeição da proposta de reforma política apresentada por Pequim.
At that time, the Democrats rejected this model, believing that this model was undemocratic. Now, if this model in 2015 were approved by the Legislative Council, this time Mr. John Tsang, with considerable public support, would likely win the election.
I think in speaking to many of my friends who are pan-Democrats, I can see that some of them regret actually not passing it, because before everyone challenged that the system that Beijing wanted to institute here was wrong, but yet if you look at the US system, is that a good system? Hillary Clinton got 3 million popular votes and lost in the Electoral College, so Donald Trump became the president.
John Tsang is more popular, but if you have to look, if you look at popularity, can you really measure popularity from opinion polls? Maybe you could before, but I don't think you can after Brexit and after Donald Trump's victory, because all the polls showed that Hillary Clinton was going to win. She lost. All the polls showed that there was not going to be a Brexit, but there was a Brexit, right? So who takes part in these polls and who does these polls, right?
Michael Shugani, conhecido analista político, critica mesmo o atual momento das instituições em Hong Kong. Defende que a única coisa que falta em termos de liberdades é o voto direto para eleger o chefe do Executivo, mas que essa luta não pode paralisar tudo o resto.
The fight for democracy has generated a movement that everything that the government proposes is blocked in the Legislative Council, so nothing gets done. Absolutely nothing gets done.
O ambiente político está longe de ser pacífico, especialmente depois dos incidentes no juramento de alguns deputados eleitos para o Conselho Legislativo em setembro. Surgiram no panorama político após a revolução dos guarda-chuvas e têm agitado as águas em Hong Kong, extremando posições em relação a Pequim. Uma luta que divide opiniões acerca do futuro destes jovens na vida pública da região vizinha.
The new generation doesn't want to participate into legal politics, if I can put it that way, unless they are convinced that they can make a difference. I think what Yao Wai-ching and Bak Yolong really were thinking is that the LegCo for them is a continuation of the street. So let's push the limits of what Beijing can accept. In that perspective, I think they have succeeded in showing that the king is naked, and this is where actually all kind of flexibility, this is where it stops. And so this is where now, I mean, we have to remove the masks and we have to see where you stand and what you want to fight for, or what you want to defend, or what you see as the future for Hong Kong. Especially because if you take Joshua Wong, I mean, he started to his career when he was 14 years old and fighting against patriotic education. And he made the government basically backpedal on that project, almost single-handedly, and with a Facebook group. He managed to get some support, and I think people do understand what he articulates and what are his arguments.
I don't think that people like Joshua Wong and so on can progress into high positions in the political arena unless they stay in the opposition. But if they stay in the opposition, they're going to get nowhere. It's the opposition, right? And if you're in the opposition, you're just opposing, right? And if you continue to oppose, nothing gets done in Hong Kong, right? So it's basically a dead end.
I don't regret for fight for democracy against the threat of China. Even I need to pay the price for it, just like being blacklisted by mainland China and Macau government.
A palavra controvérsia tem estado ligada ao passado recente de Hong Kong, depois da reforma política proposta por Pequim, que deu origem ao movimento Occupy. Houve outros momentos sensíveis que mostram uma profunda divisão na sociedade, sejam os violentos protestos em Mongkok ou mesmo o desaparecimento dos livreiros. Na verdade, uma nova geração nasceu para a política na região. O futuro dirá, mas há muitos que pensam que os ideais da democracia e da independência são uma estrada sem destino para Hong Kong.